Greetings, people. My name is Ira. I call myself the South France American, and this is going to be a video about the new lockdown, the April 2021 lockdown here in France. As you may know, President Macron gave a speech beginning of April, and he talked about what we're going to do and why we're going to do it. He did say, as a politician would say, that he did not make a mistake by not locking down in January and February. I don't know that that's necessarily the case. I think that if he had kept the lockdown in January and February, he might not be in the state that we're in right now. But regardless, we're dealing with the new variants, the British variant, the Indian variant, the Brazilian variant. There's all sorts of variants that they're talking about. And the number of cases has spiked, the number of deaths has spiked, and the ICUs in the local hospitals are filling. The national average is 103% occupancy rate in ICUs. Locally in Hérault, the state where we live, the occupancy rate is about 70% and rising. In places like Ile-de-France, Paris, and others, the occupancy rate may be as high in some cases as 400%. So it really was necessary to lock down again. Now, what are the features of this lockdown? Well, we have a curfew, 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. There are very limited reasons why you can be outside during the curfew, and you must carry with you an attestation, a form, either a paper form or an electronic form, that states your name, your address, your date of birth, the time that you left your house, and the reason that you left your house. And the reasons that you leave your house are very limited. From 6 a.m. to 7 p.m., you can leave your house within a radius of 10 kilometers without an attestation, without a form, either paper or electronic, to do the things that you're allowed to do, like go shopping, walk the dog, meet outside in groups of 6 without drinking alcohol, exercise, go shopping, go to judicial proceedings and administrative proceedings and healthcare appointments and so on and so forth. The lockdown is not quite as severe as the last one, although the curfew is a little bit more onerous. The number of stores that are open have expanded, and now hairdressers and bookstores are considered to be essential services, as are, of course, food stores. Garden centers are considered to be essential. And gymnasiums are not, and restaurants and bars are not, although delivery for takeout and takeout itself is allowed. You can't take out from inside a restaurant and eat on the patio outside, but you can get takeout from a restaurant, and restaurants can deliver past curfew. So on Friday nights, which for us is pizza night, every Friday is pizza, as it was in the United States, and it still is in France, our local pizza guy, Christophe, comes running down our pedestrian way with our pizza at 7:30, a half hour after curfew. And as Macron did say during his speech about a week ago, the vaccine rollout is going to increase. That's a big mistake that France made, and something that I think may really kill Macron when the time comes for re-election next year, is that he really screwed up the rollout of the vaccine. France did not reserve enough units, enough doses, and so while the British and many other countries were busy vaccinating people, we were being very careful here in France to husband them to the most vulnerable people. So in terms of the British, they've vaccinated about 4 or 5 times as many as we have here in France. The Germans have vaccinated 2 or 3 times as many as we have in France, and we're just beginning to open up. Now, Kathy and I had decided at the very beginning that we were going to wait a little bit for the vaccine, not because we were anti-vaxxers, but because we knew that there was going to be a scramble to get vaccinated. And sure enough, about a month ago, the government said that we're going to send files of 10 jabs a week, 10 jabs each in the vial, and 1 vial a week to the local general practitioners. And so our general practitioner, Dr. Sarrazin, announced that she could begin scheduling your vaccinations. And the people that we know got appointments at the end of May and in some cases into June to get vaccinated because of that limited supply. So that's why Kathy and I decided to wait. We decided that we would wait until things loosened up a bit, and at that point we believed that we would be able to do better than sometime the end of May, the beginning of June. And sure enough, after Macron's speech, I was able to find the online appointments that were not available for the previous several weeks or a couple of months. And we're going to go to Zingazanga, which is a discotheque that has been turned into a vaccination center in Béziers. I grabbed 2 appointments. The premier first appointment in this week, actually, April 9th, and the second jab 4 or so weeks later on May 7th at Zingazanga, and we believe we're going to get the Pfizer vaccine. So things have locked down. You again, within 10 kilometers, you don't need an attestation. You can walk for exercise. You can meet with up to 6 friends, or you and 5 other friends can meet outdoors, but you can't drink alcohol outdoors. One of the things that the French noticed is that it seemed that people that were drinking alcohol outdoors were also spreading the virus. I can't imagine why. And of course, you can walk your dog, and you can do a myriad of other things within 10 kilometers as long as you have identification on you. You do need to carry an ID card that shows where you live so that the local policeman or the gendarmes can decide whether or not you've violated the 10K, the 10-kilometer radius, and need to have an attestation. Well, there are all kinds of rules, and people get confused, and the Facebook sites and websites are full of people having questions about what you can do. If I live close to a territorial border, a border between states, can I cross the line? How far can I cross the line? How far can I go shop? How far away can I go shopping from my house? The questions are myriad. And as is the case in France, you really don't know what the answer is until a policeman stops you and decides whether or not he's going to give you a ticket. In France, it's very difficult to contest a ticket once it's been given. I, for instance, traded in a car in 2018 to buy the car that I'm driving currently. And apparently the paperwork wasn't done properly, and just a couple of weeks ago I began getting parking tickets for a car that I had sold 3 years ago and had paperwork that said that I'd sold the car. It turns out that the paperwork hadn't been done properly and the car was still in my name. And in order to contest the tickets, the first thing that I would have to do is pay the ticket. And of course, once I paid the ticket, the chances of contesting it successfully go down exponentially. And that's the case with COVID. I think that if you get caught by a municipal policeman or a gendarme who decides that you have broken the rules, you're kind of screwed. And that means 135 euro, 136 euro, over a $150 fine the first time, and the fines go up quite a bit for the second and third violations of the curfew. So that's the story. That's the lockdown in France, April 2021. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, like it and subscribe, and I'll keep putting videos up as often as I can. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.